It has been quite a year, so we wanted to take a few minutes to look back at how God protected and provided for us during that time. It began last March with 36 of our church family returning safely from Israel, days before international travel was shut down. As toilet paper and hand sanitizer disappeared from store shelves, the MCC staff worked diligently to ensure there were no shortages of community or worship. Inspired by the Brady Bunch, ministry life now was viewed through a Zoom lens. Community groups, ministry meetings, game nights were all held on Zoom. Even the annual meeting, whose name has subsequently been changed to Millennial Meeting, since that is how long it will be before we ever try that again on Zoom. In mid-March, our Sunday worship went viral as services were held in front of multiple cameras but empty pews. Instead of remembering new guests' names, staff now needed to remember which camera to look into and not to look directly into the spotlights. Lori Allen and Joe Young made sure people knew that Children's Ministries was live and kicking, constantly adapting to meet the current conditions with Kick at Home, Kick Outdoors, Kick TV, Kick AM, and Kick Live. Robin and the band each week found new ways to prepare our hearts for worship, with on-location videos, bagpipes, bongos, and a blues harp. Warmer weather in May paved the way to regather outdoors as couches were replaced by folding chairs, coffee cups were replaced by water bottles, and bed heads were now covered up by sun hats. Community Table, instead of shutting down, found new ways to serve our community by adding curbside pickup, deliveries to first responders, and al fresco dining to their menu. As the temperatures began to rise in July, we were intentional about shifting our service under the big top. One special service in the summer was the adoption ceremony of the Bullock family. This was also highlighted by an ice cream truck, which gave us great refreshment. Now, the refreshing of the sanctuary actually enabled us to move back inside in the fall, utilizing flexible seating, which not only increased our capacity, but our comfort as well. Evangelism and Outreach Committee was able to create and successfully present 3 brand new events under COVID restrictions. In June, they adapted their 5K road race to a virtual one. They followed it up with the Candy and Costume Stroll in October, and most recently, the Egg Extravaganza. Our youth activities were not put on ice, but embraced the deep freeze with our own event, powered through with Powerhouse, and kept on mission with a local mission trip. Two book discussions, a senior high discussion group, and a sermon series all focused on the issue of racial unity. Our church family continued to grow during this time with the addition of 22 new members and the baptism and dedication of 11 children. Adult ministries retreated to their annual events. The men profited by increasing margin in their lives, while the women decided to give peace a chance. In a bit of irony, our own GFF, gluten-free fanatic, Pastor Don, along with the CE committee, hosted an event whose title was Mostly Flour. Speaking of flourishing, the Young Adults was a ministry that not only started during this year, but set the bar for engagement, service, and consistency of meeting here at MCC. Even in the midst of a pandemic, we saw that our culture of care was alive and well, as over 100 people volunteered to give help and 60 people offered an afternoon encouragement. So this past year, we as a church family have much to celebrate and be thankful for. This year has also been a reminder of how in the midst of darkness, uncertainty, and anxiety, just as it was on that first Easter morning, God's light pierces the darkness. And so we can look forward to the coming year with anticipation of how He will lead us again.